Cody Souza.
What's going on?
How are you today?
Good, man. Living the dream.
Welcome to 69 Faces of Rock.
Thanks for having me.
Tell me about your new album, Vale of Shadows. There it is. Show it.
Oh, yeah.
And begin to...
Our most recent baby, the Vale of Shadows, man.
Yep.
A lot of pride behind this album. We did this during the dark times, you know, when the whole world was shut down. I'll stay away from the C word, right? A lot of people don't like that, but just kind of wrote this in a home studio while everyone was not at work. Really proud of the elements we brought to this album. I think it really embellishes what Hatriot is moving towards and what, you know, music's ever evolving, right? But the melodicness we added to it, staying to our roots in thrash, the death metal elements that were added to it. You know, really proud of this product for sure.
When you were writing this record, what plans did you have for it?
You know, it was weird because it happened right before the closure, and we were on festival lineups. You know, things were about to happen, and that kind of iced over for us. You know, coming out of it, all those opportunities kind of came and gone. So you know, we're on a path for world domination. You know, like any other band that is out there, right? But you know, this thing. You know, hoping and it has been received very well with playlists and getting plays and growing the band to the next level for sure. So I think as far as what an album can do for a band nowadays, this has been a crucial stepping stone in who we've become, you know, for sure.
What are the songs about?
Man, we can go through it, you know.
Go through it, have fun.
Horns and Halos, it's actually about the music industry and how it's kind of a hierarchy, and we like to kind of call it Game of Thrones here and there. Everyone's out for themselves, but everyone acts like they're buddies, you know? So Horns and Halos kind of is the lyrical content, like I said, embellishes the music scene. We go next into the hate inside, and it's just kind of like an internal conflict song, you know, people going, what's going through your head during certain thoughts and topics and whatnot. Forceful Balance is actually a hidden Star Wars song, Forceful Balance, you know.
Gotta love that.
We're big nerds at the end of the day too, so we try to have a lot of fun with what we write and what we do. So that one we just had fun writing. Verminous and Vile is about the bubonic plague. So we found a lot of similarities with what the world was going through and what we wrote that song about at the time. You know, that's probably the most death metal, like fast song on the album. And it definitely, you know, feels that anger and that pent-up aggression that we had during the closure. You know what I mean? So.
And I see a little Star Wars thing on the jacket,
yeah, I mean, I got 6 Star Wars tattoos throughout me.
So there's nothing is coincidental here.
No, yeah, we're all freaking, you know, we do what we like. We're all big nerds. We do our thing. We're all metalheads from heart, you know, from day one. You know, but different things, you know, the 25th Hour, Clemency Denied, a lot of songs just about different darker topics. I mean, what heavy metal's typically about, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, going through here, Only Red Remains is about a serial killer. Mark of the Tyrant obviously is about tyrannical, you know, a tyrant figure taking over a figure of people. Nothing necessarily to blame or to say, but very reminiscent of current topics as well too, you know. The Vale of Shadows is actually, we always sneak one song in, usually about a horror icon or a monster of some sort. That one is actually a shadow off of Stranger Things. They called the Upside Down, I don't know if you watch Stranger Things, they called that the Vale of Shadows. So that's kind of where we ended up coming off with that one. Murderous Tranquility is just kind of like a melody jammer, kind of sets the tone, the eerie tone for the Vale of Shadows. Ultimately, the album ends with Hymn for the Wicked, and it's just you know, about evil people and what they do, and you know, this dark world that we depict our art in. So
this is your second tour promoting this record?
Yes. I believe a few singles had came out the first time we went out with Ex Mortis about a year and a half ago. Earlier this year, we came through Joliet, which is close to here, but that was with Dave Ellison's Kings of Thrash and Jeff Young, so that was on that, and then this one also, this is the most current record.
How do you feel the album is catching up with the audience?
I think it's doing well. I think it's definitely, as we were kind of speaking off camera beforehand, this and its predecessor were the first 2 albums that I sang vocals on. Obviously, my father was the first singer of Hatriot before his time back, and you know, he went back to Exodus. So it really, like I was saying, shows a lot of our more death metal side. It shows the melodicness that the band can bring, but yet still be heavy. We've been commended for how, how we've blended all those tones. So I'm calling it like indescribable,
Tell me about that transition when you went from, you became a vocalist all of a sudden. Vocalist. What was that like? Because I mean, that I think changed the dynamics in the band, didn't it?
Yeah, it definitely did. There was a small period of time where Zetro, my father, was still in Exodus and Hatriot. We're really trying to get things to work, but due to like no contest clauses, him performing in the same area twice. Exodus's ever busy schedule, me and my brother actually had come to him and took him out to dinner, or had dinner at his house, I believe, and we had like we called it the manifesto. We had a whole manifesto written about why we were better to move forward. I guess before that happened, we were at practice and he was not there. It was just music practicing, the band, and I get on my backup mic and I start singing the lyrics, and my brother's like, "You do Dad better than Dad does Dad." And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So then we did a few more practices of me trying, and he's like, "I think we got it. I think we can do this." Like, love the old man to death, but like we're a bunch of young kids, That's kind of when we changed the logo, we changed our sound, and just kind of evolved as a new band moving forward. We call that the legacy years with the first two albums with Zetro on them.
And when your dad was still in a band, I mean, what was it like to be in a band with him? Not only a father, but an established vocalist.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool, man. A lot of people ask that question throughout my life, and he's a dad just like any other. I made sure I brought home good grades. He took very good care of me and my brother and my sister and our family, right? Doing the best he always could. But it was cool. We were bandmates too. So he'd call me, and he wouldn't even talk about like life topics. He would straight up talk about. Hey, how's the song coming? Are you working with Costa on new things? When's practice? And like we had like a little business element going on there for a while. It was pretty cool, and we still do. I mean, we still have that. We've always had a musical relationship, but he's very happy to see where we've taken the band, definitely to the next echelon, even without him. This whole tour. We've been crisscrossing dates. He'll be in one date, and then we'll be in one date, and then he'll be in one date, And you can almost hear he's like a happy baseball dad, like, "Oh, where are you guys at tonight? Cool!" Like it's like our family thing, and we're doing it on two different levels, but still at a professional level, and it's really brought us together a lot.
And what was it like to grow up with someone like that?
Don't bring him any bad grades or no, I'm just kidding. But no, I mean, just always, I always tell people I wasn't born a rich man, because there's not a lot of money in this, right? But
no.
I feel as a second generation musician, I was born with a lot of trials and tribulations of my father. So I think that really helped us moving forward, knowing like, hey, have good jobs that can let you tour, find, the person in your life, that supports you doing this, which my wife definitely does support doing this, and she knows what her father-in-law does, my father, right? So we kind of learned, school of hard knocks a little bit, but like we're ready for the scene as soon as we had a product ready to roll and deliver it professionally, so.
And this is an odd question because I'm also a parent, and at one point, kids kind of rebel against their parents.
Yeah.
How do you rebel against somebody like Zetro?
I know.
How do you do it? Like, what did you do?
I think you could call my rebellious phases. I was into Eminem when Eminem was big, right? When the first Marshall Mathers, the second Marshall Mathers album came out. What are you doing listening to this crap, But it was a very short stint. Metal has always been in our heart and my whole life. Metal and any kind of rock music, I don't want to say I was a goody kid, but like I brought home good grades. Me and my father have always had like a mutual respect level as far as like seeing eye to eye. Hey, if you're going to a party, call me. Don't like he knew we were going to go out and party. He knew we were going to do things. So it wasn't like rebellious. Like my dad was a snurd Finkelford that didn't know what was going on. He's hip. He's cool. He grew up in sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So. There was a mutual respect there, and there always has been between him, my brother, myself, my sister. You know what I mean? All of us growing up. So
while growing up, at one point did you realize, hey, I want to do this. I want to be in a band?
Yeah, I mean, as early as middle school, he bought my first bass from Jack Gibson. It was an ESP LTD, and that was my first professional bass. I had a beater before that, but. Just something we always, wanted to follow Pops' footsteps. Something that we really enjoy, I remember me and my brother sitting on the side of the stage at Ozfest watching Slipknot go off. Subliminal Verses had just dropped, and it's like, man, I want to do this, man. This is cool, you know. Obviously, Slipknot echelon's way up there, right? But I mean, everyone can follow their dreams and try to aspire for it, you know.
Absolutely. How do you relate to all other Bay Area bands? Because that was a massive scene, especially in the 80s, you know, when I was in high school.
Yeah.
How does someone who's like almost second generation thrash, how does that work?
It's pretty cool, man. Like, we go to concerts and stuff, and I always like either joke or like they're my funky uncles, or like
right?
you know, the guys from Forbidden, or the guys from Violence, or the Exodus boys, right? The Testament guys. You know, Uncle Chuck has taken very good care of us, right? But yeah, it's just going to shows and seeing people like that and being able to walk up and like, you know, give them hugs and stuff. Phil Demmel would come through my first job at the movie theaters, and everyone like, that's the guitar player from Machine Head, and I walk right up, he'd give me a big old hug, and you know, it's cool, man. Coming up in the Bay Area scene, like I said, our first couple albums were very much so in that same vein of thrash. We definitely have a thrash basis now with a lot more melodic death metal influences into it too, and a lot more modern noises, you know? And I still think that's kept our foot representing the Bay Area circle nicely, you know? Everyone can't be the exact same, you know, pizza thrash band coming out, or, you know, hardcore thrash band coming out, and I think we've definitely found our own niche, and then there's a lot of good up-and-coming thrash metal bands still out of the Bay Area. You know, our buddies in Phantom Witch, our buddies in Frolic. I mean, there's countless I can still name moving forward, and definitely great bands still coming out of the Bay Area to this day.
Now, you've mentioned before about being organized, having a job. So what has to be in place in order for this band to work?
You know, for this band to finally pull its head out of its butt and like kind of leave the hobby status, because we were a band since almost more than 10 years now, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
But a lot of us were having children, going to school. I was a general foreman in air conditioning, right? I ran a service shop, right? And then touring really wasn't an option, and it came to the day where, like, you know, I met the love of my life. I drive the car I like to drive. I bought a house, and I'm like, what's left in this life? I don't want children at the moment, you know? So I actually put my job down, and I work at the family business now, which is on my mother's side. I work at a lumber company, and it allows me to tour, and it allows me to follow my passion, and it allows me to do what we got to do to get this moving forward. The other boys all kind of made that the same moves to make sure that they were stable and whatnot. And I found that like everything in life happened for a reason for Hatriot, right? Like my management skills from the union carried over into this, right? Now I kind of, I'm not saying like I'm the leader, we all have our parts, but definitely the organized business mind, working with management, trying to constantly keep pushing us to the next level, to give us, you know, what we need to be successful, and treat it like a business. You know, everyone can go out and be in a band and draw a lottery number and try to randomly make a hit overnight, and that's cool. There's so many great bands in the past we've been listening to since we've been on tour. Like, what happened to those guys? Oh, they were kids. They just didn't have the business mindset, you know? And I think now we're like a well-oiled machine after running a multi-million-dollar company, someone entrusting me in that, to running a multi-thousand-dollar band. We could figure that out, you know, and stay profitable, and our numbers, and, you know, make sure everything's looking good for us, so.
Obviously, you're wearing a special makeup. Can you explain your image?
Yeah, so lately, you know, we always just kind of went out there and did our thing, more bands we liked and whatnot, and we've really adopted that we need to put on a show. We really need to put on a show for the crowd. We typically have our own lighting deck. I don't know if you saw the post, that got stolen while we were out, which we will replace, but for the remainder of this tour, we won't have our custom lighting on stage. But we have ego risers. We all wear matching uniforms of black and white. And then on a Halloween show, most recent Halloween show in San Francisco, we put some war paint on. You know, we're not calling it corpse paint, it's war paint. We're Hatriots, we're soldiers, you know? So I do like a Viking style image. My brother does like an homage to a Native American West Borlands type image. Everyone's kind of got their thing in the band, and we really found it to fit and help us stick out a little more. And I don't know, we're always willing to evolve and put on a better show and entertain. We're entertainers, you know?
Excellent.
Yeah.
The album came out, what, last year? Are you working on any new music?
Yeah, I can't say too much right now. New music's in the hopper, already ready to go. Some songs are ready to go. I wish I could go into more details on that. We start getting into some red tape at that point. So, but yeah, we are always in a constant state of writing. We have a Dropbox file full of songs that we're always constantly reworking or combining or fusing or dividing in half. You know, our practice schedule is like pretty much a week of practice, a week of in-home studio. So we work, send each other tracks, have business meetings on Skype, talk about, you know, P&Ls as small as it is, but what the band can currently afford, you know, profit and loss sheets and stuff. And, you know, like I said, bringing it back to taking it as a business, you know?
So maybe let me ask you this. In what direction would you like your music to go?
You know, we're happy with where it's at right now, but it's always ever evolving, man. You know, we're falling down that melodic death thrash curve right now. You know, we love harmonies. We love, like people were saying, you can see some Killswitch Engage influence on this, a little lighter than your typical thrasher would enjoy. But we definitely make it always sound like us. There's always sounds like Hatriot, you know, which is, I think, something we've niched very well. So I'm excited to see where it progresses naturally. You know what I mean?
Finally, what are some of your favorite moments from being involved in this band?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really proud of the recent touring we've been doing. You know, becoming a full professional band and getting in the van and buying our trailer and finding a way to make a small guarantee, make sure no one goes home hungry, you know, that everyone is healthy and safe. I could say, you know, our first tour to Europe 10 years ago with my dad in the band, as you were kind of asking on the earlier questions.
Yeah.
It was amazing to go travel Europe for 2 weeks with my father. We hit the Eindhoven Metal Meeting. We hit a few dates in Holland and Belgium. And it was an unforgettable experience. So kind of still trying to chase that high. Obviously, we made a West Coast run, and we've done 2 U.S. full tours this year. So we're up for anything, man. We have an amazing management team behind us, FM Music Management. We're with Continental Touring, you know, and everyone's working hard to bring the Hatriot to everybody, man. So.
Thank you.
Dude, thank you for having me, man. Anytime.